Hey everyone, welcome to another episode from Ampro Engineering. This is a Toyota Hilux high lift. What we're going to talk about is going to apply to the Mountaineer, to the Bruiser, the re-release Bruiser, and even the knockoff P407. These taillights have been a major point of contention for me, simply because their proportions are incorrect. Now, I own the real truck, and on my truck, the taillights do not hang off the side of it like these do. These hang off just about a millimeter, which is not accurate. On top of that, on the real truck, the taillight lenses actually protrude further out of the body than the trim does. So again, this is incorrect. Finally, another issue is that behind this lens, you can kind of see it like that. When the taillights are moved, you can see that we have a bunch of these little holes, and these holes are for illumination. The problem I have with this is that when you put the LED in here, there's no way that the LED can properly dissipate the light. So you end up getting small dots all along the taillight, which again, I don't appreciate. And the last issue that I have is this black center trim piece here is separate on the actual truck. It's a molded piece that pops in on top of the lens. Now, oftentimes with these trucks, the ones that are more heavily abused, and there's quite a survival rate of these in California. You still see a few of them every single day. Oftentimes you'll find these black pieces missing, which I think is very cool for one of those really beat up scalers. Anyway, it's wrong. So what we have done is created this. Now this is unfinished yet. We're working on it. And I've also gone through the trouble of painting the black simply so that you can see the detail that this taillight has. The actual taillight, which I have on my 1980 Toyota truck in the garage, has a much thinner border than the original over here, which apparently I didn't throw far enough away. Not only that, but it is lacking two ginormous holes in the top and in the bottom. Unfortunately, what you're looking at here is something that doesn't illuminate, just like this. And anybody who's followed my channel knows that that is not acceptable. This is the illumination portion, and this is one order, by the way. You'll get everything that you see here. This part here, you'll snip off the tree, and it will install just like that. The reason I did this is so that there's a texture here. This will allow you to paint the orange, paint the red, leave the reverse lights clear, and then on the front, color sand if you like, get a nice real smooth effect, and then clear coat the front, and this will give you a much more realistic look than my original idea here, which is a solid body. As you can see, it's very easy to paint up. Unfortunately, you get this kind of look, and that's not what I was going for. So this is what's going to happen. We paint all the perimeter in black. This also needs to be painted black here as well. There's a little ridge, but I had to hold it some way. Paint that orange, paint that red. These will be left completely clear. However, the back side will be painted silver. It's imperative to get in between the orange and the clear and the red and the clear so that you have little or no light bleed. That is very, very important. Then you can take these pieces here, paint them in a matte black, which will give you this appearance, and that will drop smack dab into this, and you'll get the appropriate look for this taillight. Unfortunately, this whole set does require some serious surgery on your beloved Bruiser or Mountaineer or Trailfinder 2 or whatever you've got. I believe it's going to be possible to make the appropriate modifications for that truck without damaging a fully restored or fully painted body. We'll cover that in that video, but the first thing I'm going to do is paint this taillight. So the taillights have been painted here at the rear. This is a spray paint that I use, and it's important to go very, very light because you don't want to add too much thickness here. And you can see from the front they don't look particularly good, and that's because they haven't been clear coated. I also highly recommend that you do a little bit of color sanding to get away from some of this striations from the 3D printing process. It will also help to prevent this fogginess from returning to these plastics. This is kind of what happens if you don't sand ahead of time. You get this weird whiteness. It can be removed by, again, color sanding it, but this is being clear coated, and that's a step that you shouldn't have to deal with. Also note that the screw heads, there's 6 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which would be present on the original truck, are actually designed in here. So we'll do a little color sanding, and then I'll clear coat these. We've done some multi-project clear coating, so I'll let these dry for about 24 hours. Please note that you should not leave these in direct sunlight for very long, especially on hot days, as this plastic has a fairly low melting point and you don't want them to warp or deform. While we're here, we've done the trim pieces for the center taillights as well in a low gloss black. after a little bit of work, this is where we're at. We can see the texture on the inside of the taillight. Again, this was done with very, very minimal effort. The next bit here is we're going to take the actual light pipe. They're slightly different. You can see that there's a little bit of geometric difference here. Just a reminder, we painted the back silver, but this front face here must remain clear, and you do not want to get any paint into the LED receptacles. So for the paint, we'll take our model glue. We'll apply some to this front face, and I'm going to make sure that there's a very thin coat on everything, and we'll even have it come down here a little bit lower. Same with the reverse light and the turn signal. And you can see just by applying the adhesive, it kind of makes it even clearer. We'll then take the taillight and drop it directly on, just like that. And we'll let gravity do what it does, and we'll bug that tomorrow. While these are drying, we can take our reverse light trim pieces here and just very carefully snip them off the sprue. And then these are not capable of going on both sides. If you look at them directly from the front, you can see there's a slight angle outward here. This one here is going to be for the left taillight, and this one here for the right. So we will take a bit of our model glue, put a little dab, there we go, in this area here, and right in that area there. We'll take our taillight, turn it back around, and I think, yeah, this is the guy that will just drop in there. Same with the other side. Okay, so that is in. Let those dry, and then we can do the final detailing on the perimeter. I actually went ahead and applied a translucent coat on this. You can see it's actually really hard to see on camera, but it now has a lot more depth and a lot more brilliance. And then I went ahead and get a clear top coat over the entire thing. To the left, we have the taillight that came with the Trailfinder 2, and to the right, we have the taillight that's off of my Hilux High Lift, which I spent a good deal of time detailing, and unfortunately just always kind of looks cheap. Not to mention the giant holes on the top and on the bottom, which these lack. I have painted the backside of this, and it's very important that you do get the paint in between the red and the white and the amber. That is going to prevent light bleed as much as possible anyway between the three colors, so that when you have the brake lights on, you don't have light bleeding into the reverse light, as well as amber bleeding into reverse or reverse bleeding into both of these. The goal is to cut out this inside area here, but we want to leave about 1.5 millimeters along the perimeter of this, about the same thickness as this wall. Take it easy, especially on a body that's painted. I'm going to start by using this cutting wheel to create a slit right in here, and then we're going to slowly hack away at it with the reamer. We'll try the shears as well. I get anything to kind of limit the amount of potential danger is going to be helpful. It may not come out too clean. Oh, stay there. It may not come out too clean at first, but don't worry about it. We can tidy it up later. Okay, cool. And there it is. Next we can tidy this up. We also want to get rid of this boss here because that's going to be in the way, and same with that. This has proven to be quite easy, so I'm just going to try and use the X-Acto knife because I think this will be a little less dangerous on the body. It is, however, potentially more dangerous to your skin, so please be careful. An X-Acto knife can send you straight to the emergency room. And this corner here is going to be a little more tricky because it's captured on both sides, so just take it slow. All right, and there we have it. Now that the area is cut out, we can go ahead and test fit the light. So as we drop it straight in here, we can see it should pop right into place. So this thing should fit pretty darn flush to the tailgate and to the side. This is ready to install. Since we cut out our taillights, I've actually got my LEDs in there already. Press them into place, hold them, and put some hot glue on the inside. Once that cures, I will install my LEDs. Well, this is the taillight that we started with, and I believe you're all ready to see what we have now. That is quite a transformation. I have to admit that I am incredibly happy with how this came out. It fits the body as it should. let us turn some lights on, and there we have it. Unfortunately, it really should not appear yellow. It's simply because of the lighting. But as you can see, if I cover this up here, we have effectively no light bleed between the red and the reverse light, which was not the case in the original style here on the left. If we hit reverse, let me just prevent this from flying off the table. There we go. Again, no, actually that looks pretty good. No light bleed in the amber or into the red. And we'll hit the turn signal. There's a really weak LED in this signal, but you can see it nevertheless. If I cover this up, well, there we have it. There is another variant of these. We'll go over those in another video, but there is a version that's a single piece. And this is a prototype, but you can tell that you can see where the LEDs go versus this here, where you cannot. These are going to be more durable since it's not possible for them to come apart, but do lack some of the realism that these would have. Please be careful if you are going to install these taillights on your finished body. Although it is possible to put them in without any kind of damage, it does require a great deal of care, so please be careful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to go drive this now outside in the dark. We'll see you next time.